Hi, welcome to January's Q&A. We've got a lot of questions, so I'm going to go through them quite quickly. And I'm going to start with Cass V77, and she's asking you about good nutrition to help rosacea. You need to check if you've got an intolerance to anything, because it could be to do with a leaky gut. So have a look at your gut and see how your digestion is. It's difficult to give you advice without having a clinical session with you, because there's so many reasons that it could be. But basically, probiotic is really key, and then take an anti-inflammatory. Things like turmeric are really good for rosacea, and an anti-inflammatory diet, so no sugars, no coffee, all those things. And Rachel Thomas and Sam Tallulah Iris both asked about ways to reduce bloating. Bloating can be many, many different things. First thing to do is to chew properly. If you've got water retention, nettle is really good for that. And then things like slippery elm could help reduce your bloating. Making smarter choices are 3 questions. Is white coffee with no sugar better than black coffee with? Sugar is not great. I'd rather you had a little bit of milk in a coffee with no sugar. Next one, when are you going to start delivering in wider locations? That's a 5-day plan. In Somerset, please, I will let you know. Hopefully soon. The next one, how much water do you need and is required daily? So many different suggestions around. The general suggestion is always pretty much 1.5 to 2 litres. I would prefer that you drink 2 litres of water or herbal teas a day. At Kathy McKay, I've added meat to my diet after years of being veggie, no matter, and this is due with her iron levels and B12. Is there anything else she can do? B12 is, if you're not eating meat or dairy products, especially if you're a vegan, you should definitely supplement. Iron, you can use something called Spartone, or you could increase things like wheat germ. You could have dried fruits, but make sure you soak them first, try and get rid of the sugars, or some Floridex. Gem C. Wade says loads of people are saying to avoid beans. She loves them. She doesn't want to. She's cutting down on bread and they add bulk. What would be the reason for avoiding them? I don't know, because I'm a big fan of beans and pulses. They're a great form of fibre, a brilliant form of vegetable protein. Okay, at Katie McNair, foods that cause heartburn, wants to avoid heartburn, how to combat it. Foods that cause heartburn, sugar is renowned for causing heartburn. Also heavy meats with heavy saturated fats, animal fats. Take time to eat your food. Make sure you sit and chew your food, always. Really take time to chew it. Take some apple cider vinegar before you eat if you're still suffering with heartburn. Digestive enzymes can be really helpful. Dina Schulman, what are your 3 top supplement suggestions for healing the gut? I would say things like glutamine. Glutamine is probably number 1, the go-to for your gut. So take some glutamine. Slippery elm is another really lovely one. Depends what's wrong with your gut, but that would help heal the stomach lining. At Lula Thrila, low estrogen foods, supplements, please help. Low on vitamin D and vegan. Okay, so vitamin D, then you supplement. You can get drops. Take 2,000, 3,000 IU a day, depending how old you are and everything. Phytoestrogens, foods that contain phytoestrogens. Things like soy. Even though I'm not a big fan of soy, soy is very good. It does have a lot of phytoestrogen qualities. So try those if you don't have a problem with your thyroid. I'm addicted to dried persimmons. Is it true dried fruit is bad for your teeth? Is it true that black tea is good for us? I was told to cut down on it. Okay, yeah, dried fruit is kind of bad for us. It's not bad, it's great, but it's full of sugar, so try soaking it in water. It takes some of the sugar out. It's just very high in sugar, but it still does have good qualities to it. And is black tea good for you? It's fine, but you know what? It's not as good as herbal tea. It has lots of caffeine and lots of tannin in it. Lucy Beauty, is it possible to be vegan and gluten-free celiac? Yes, absolutely. You just have to avoid glutinous products, and eating lots of things like brown rices and buckwheats and beans, you'll be fine. At Kimberly Saint, thanks for holding Q&A. She's had depression. She wants to know about vitamin B being helpful and what can be helpful. She wants to get it from food. So my suggestion is the number 1 go-to actually there's 2. You could try St John's wort, but if you're on antidepressants, you need to check. You shouldn't be taking them both. So, and that would be a supplement. The food side is flax seeds, turkey, salmon, almonds, all have something called tryptophan in them, which helps build serotonin. It physically helps make serotonin. Or you could supplement something called 5-HTP. Okay, I hope that helps. Maransaurus, what actually is 5 a day? Well, 5 a day is considered to be 5 portions of fruit, vegetables, or whole foods that are good for you. So things like nuts, seeds, all vegetables, all fruits, certain nut butters, things like that. That's 7. This is for Victoria Platzer. She wants to know if you need supplement B12 as a vegan, and she'd love to hear my thoughts. Yes, is the answer to that. You do. You won't get it from anywhere else, so you need to supplement it. At Maria Mitchell 210 hotmail.com. She has hypothyroidism and wants to know what to recommend supplements. So things for hypothyroidism would be something like probiotics. Selenium would be great. You need to have dark leafy greens, a good probiotic. B vitamins, yeah, I'd try with that. Oh, and a fish oil would be helpful. Okay, at Sherry Claire, Happy New Year. For breastfeeding 3-month-old baby, she's starving all the time. Are there any snacks that you could recommend? I tell you what would be really good for you. Things like bounce balls would be great for you when you're starving. I mean, obviously you can do the oatcakes and the hummus and all the carrots, but there's something about having some nuts and seeds and all that. And also the thing about bounce balls is they've got quite a bit of date action going on, so try those. Madeline loves this. Hey Rosemary, hope you're well and Happy New Year. She's been on antibiotics. What can I do other than probiotics? Okay, because it's true, people take probiotics all the time and it doesn't seem to make any difference. I think perhaps, without knowing too much, you should probably have a look at how your gut's functioning and probably deal with that. But lower down the gut, I'm talking about your stomach, sorry. Lower down the gut, fermented foods, prebiotic foods, high fibre foods would be really good. And you could try a bit of kombucha. That would be nice. Next one, Shauna Redmond. She wants, is there energising, anti-inflammatory one that you can recommend that would be great to have most mornings? So I think so she wants to know about something she can have, like a liquid thing, a smoothie. So I think if you're in a rush, superfood powders are really good. So you can try things like maca, spirulina, cacao is a great one at this time of year, aside, and then try and get like a hemp protein powder to mix it all in and add some fruit and veg and you'd be ace. DHBH, thank you for your very lovely comments. She wants to know, or he wants to know, any advice about, because they're trying to eat much healthier. I tell you what would be really good. So plate advice, that's one thing that I always say, is that a plate should be half green leafy vegetables or like multicoloured vegetables and a quarter complex carbs and a quarter protein, lean protein. That's a good way to start. There is a nutritionist and a chef called Dale Pinnock, and his books are really good actually because they're great. They're in medicinal, categories. So they'll be really helpful for you, I think. Abs Barnes has just become vegetarian and wants to know how to get more fat and protein in their diet and should I be taking supplements. A vegetarian diet can be the healthiest diet you eat, but you need to make sure you're getting your protein from good sources. So avocados for fat, beans, pulses, nuts, seeds would be, you could try tempeh as well. Fermented soy would be a good thing. I'm going to answer 3 in 1 now. Mary Charteris at LuluFW and at James Brown Agency. You've all asked me about sugar and honeys and alternatives and agaves and da-da-da. The bottom line is that all of them are very, very high in either sucrose or fructose. They are all high-burning carbohydrates, so they're very fast-burning sugars. So the best one is date syrup, actually. The best one is date syrup because it's only got 30% of normal table sugar. So try that one. But they do all burn really fast. And there is talk about the fact they have minerals and all those things, but actually you'd have to eat a shitload of sugar to get all those minerals, so you can get them from better places. So just use with moderation. Zach 17. Any advice on what to eat if you're asthmatic? And yes, he has some serious lung problems. Again, you want to reduce that inflammation, so sugars and things, processed sugars and dairy. Dairy is quite congesting, so try and avoid that. And then things like vitamin C is really important. It's really good for lung and connective tissues. Vitamin A is really good for mucous membranes, which sounds lovely. So yeah, and that's what I would try and do. But I think anti-inflammatory would be really helpful for you. Little Doodles, I'd love any recommendations for easily digestible food that packs a punch nutrition-wise, because she or he has something called gastroparesis. I would say soup is such a brilliant way because you can put all sorts of things, or a smoothie because you can blend it and you can make it smooth, but you can put all sorts of nuts, seeds, pulses, all those things in it, even meat, and you can, and it's a great way of getting nutrition in. Michelle Brandon _garden_design. I'm reading mixed reviews on unsweetened probiotic yogurt. It's still okay, right? I don't know what you mean by unsweetened yogurt. Does that mean it's got no sugar in it at all? I think yogurt is a red flag for sugar. It is the best. It's where lots and lots and lots and lots of sugar is hidden all the time. It's like, it's renowned for it. So just check that. That would be the only reason, I think. Raw yogurt is always good. At Michelle Brandon _garden. Oh, hi you again. _designs. P.S. Many thanks for your time. You're welcome. At Mary Charters is asking, making smoothies with frozen fruit still nutritious as using fruit from the fridge? Yes, is the answer to that. Slightly less, but most times it is frozen at source, and it's a really, really good way of having berries in the winter time. So yeah, frozen fruit is perfect, and it's great, and you can do it with veg too. Lisa M70 has just asked what Mary Charters asked. Frozen fruit, veg, good for juicing. Yes, good for juicing. Perfect. Keep it frozen and then it's there. Lodge Farm honey. What is a quick healthy breakfast option that, other than a smoothie, which I never fancy in cold weather? I think Bircher is a great idea. Bircher muesli is a really, really good one. You can make it the night before. You can put all sorts of delicious things in it. So I made one yesterday with vanilla pods, cinnamon, some blueberries, some sunflower seeds. So you can just change what's in it. So that's a good one. You can make it the night before. Silly Zilly asks if vodka is bad for you as whiskey. I don't know is the answer to that. I always think vodka is white, is a clear, liquor. Yeah, liquor. I don't know if I've ever said that before. Anyway, and whiskey is brown, and people have much worse hangovers on whiskey as far as I know. I suppose it's whatever suits you best. Amanda Thorpe, mood foods, currently going through a phase of feeling a bit unsettled, having returned. So you've just come back from the sunshine. So I would instantly say vitamin D. Because if you've been in the sun, and your body actually gets used to sort of how much D it has, so that's why people who emigrate here to the darkness can suffer quite badly. So some vitamin D, fruit and delicious salads, yes, exactly. And so also you've had lots of fresh fruit. So try juicing, try some nuts and seeds, hummus, crudité raw would be good for you. Turkey and eggs, lentils and bananas and almonds and avocados are all good for mood. But I think you should probably start with a vitamin D because I'm wondering if it's a seasonal affective disorder. Okay, Emily Pragnell, sparkling water versus hydrating. Sparkling water, is it as hydrating? Does Earl Grey have much caffeine in it? Some teas do have as much more caffeine than coffee, and fizzy water is fine as long as it's naturally carbonated. La Famille Williamson asks, any quick meal suggestions for celiacs? I've recently been diagnosed and it's a pain in the arse. It is, I know, it is. Gluten is in everything. So what I would say is that there are loads of alternatives now, so it's not the worst time to be diagnosed with this. There is lots of gluten-free pastas, so brown rice pastas. There's quinoa flakes, there's oats that are gluten-free for breakfast. Cakes you shouldn't be eating anyway because they're full of rubbish. Sausages you shouldn't be eating either, even though they've got lots of gluten in them. So it kind of will lift your quality of your food probably, and really, if you want to try and put a positive spin on it. Lot of vegetables, obviously, lots of beans, lots of pulses, lean proteins, fish, chicken, all that. If you're struggling with sweet cakes and stuff, then try gluten-free flours. There's loads of options out there, but yeah, I know it's a pain. Okay, so at Nick Garson, ideas for healthy but filling food. I think if you're white carbohydrates to brown, so brown rice, start eating brown rice, whole wheat pasta. If you eat whole grain stuff, it's much more filling, and obviously it's better for you. You can eat things like buckwheat, pearl barley, all those sort of things. Eating whole food, like the whole fruit, vegetables with their fibre will help fill you up as well. And beans and pulses are very filling too. I know I've said that about a million times now. Eat with till. Using dates and bananas better than other sweeteners? Yes, I would say they are, because you're using the whole thing, it's got some fibre in it. Eat with till again. If you had to buy one superfood powder, which one would it be, and what would you go? And which one would you go for? I would probably buy, I'm a very big fan of chlorella and tobacco, so one of those two.